Yo, what is up, young Allstars? This is Joe King Johnson 4, and today we're going to be talking about the Game 1 NBA Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and the Miami Heat. I'm going to give you guys a full review of what happened. So let's start talking about the first quarter. Now, the first quarter, the first few minutes of the game, it was all San Antonio Spurs. I mean, they were dominating. They were leading up by 13. The score was, I think, it was 13-2. I was surprised. I mean, I was like, Spurs got this. They're going to win. It's an automatic win for Spurs if the Miami Heat keep playing like that. So what happened was that Miami Heat called a timeout, and then after that timeout, God, Miami Heat somehow got motivated. They got pumped, and they made a comeback. At the end, the first quarter score was 24-23. I was like, didn't the Spurs have this in the first few minutes? I mean, they looked like they wanted to dominate, and they were dominating already. I thought it was going to be a blowout by the Spurs, and I thought the score was going to be at the end 93-73. No, apparently the Spurs somehow got unfocused. The Miami Heat got pumped, and they did a comeback, and the final score was 24-23 at the end of the first quarter. So here comes the second quarter. The second quarter, the Spurs were performing poorly. They were missing a couple of shots, and some players were not on the correct players against the Miami Heat. So the Spurs struggled a lot on defense, and on offense, well, they were passing the ball a lot, but they didn't achieve as many points as they can. They kept missing some points, they kept missing some simple shots, and I was surprised that they were letting this guy who's the top defensive player of the league shoot some threes with Kawhi and the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, that guy's a defensive player. Why are they letting this guy shoot threes? And also, they took away Tony Parker in the second quarter. I was like, they gotta put in Tony Parker. That's one of the main guys from the San Antonio Spurs. Why are they taking this guy out? So without Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili playing the whole quarter, and the guy can't even reach the rim. I don't know if you guys saw that. He missed the dunk after being fouled, but the guy cannot reach the rim. He can barely do a layup. So the Manu Ginobili, I expect Manu Ginobili to be out and done from the San Antonio Spurs. So yeah, I mean, that's enough about San Antonio Spurs. I know you guys want to hear more about Miami Heat. Miami Heat, well, pretty much they dominated. I mean, Birdman did his weirdest layups of all time. Dwayne Wade did a little bit of commanding, here and there. That he was telling people to go wherever they want. LeBron James was driving in pretty easily against this guy named Danny Green from the San Antonio Spurs. And that's what pisses me off from the San Antonio Spurs again. Yes, let's go back to the San Antonio Spurs. That was another no-no from the San Antonio Spurs. Don't put Danny Green, rookie, some young guy. He knows how to shoot threes. They put that guy, Danny Green, some skinny guy, some 6'6" or 6'5" guy, against LeBron James. Why would they do that? I was so freaking pissed, So yeah, I mean, LeBron James was driving him pretty easily. That was the weakling from the San Antonio Spurs, Danny Green. They kept attacking him, and LeBron James just drove it in a bunch of times. Mario Chalmers did a good job. Who else? That guy number 30, the guy with the flat top hair. That guy was a beast. That guy is pretty darn fast, man. If they keep putting that guy in, you're going to be able to see the bench doing some work against the Spurs in the next few games. So if you see number 30 again from the Miami Heat in the next few games, Miami Heat will somehow, some way, find a way to win against the San Antonio Spurs by using him, combining him with some certain setups, and they should be able to do just fine. Just like the second quarter. The second quarter was perfect for the Miami Heat. So here comes the third quarter, right? The second half, everybody's wondering, all right, will the San Antonio Spurs pick it up, or will they go with the same strategy? So here goes the beginning of the third quarter. Everybody's wondering how San Antonio Spurs going to perform. Well, apparently they were playing catch up, and they were catching up. They were a few points away. They're trying their best. And then in the second half of the third quarter, Miami Heat is doing their best. They're performing pretty great. Birdman somehow manages to get some few layups here and there. I mean, I was surprised. How is Birdman performing, man? How can he perform like this? He does one of the most weirdest layups I ever seen in my life, but he still makes it in. It was just freaking weird. And who else? Mario Chalmers did some work. LeBron James just commanding the troops. And then, the second half of the third quarter, what happened was they put Tony Parker in. And then everything changed. The Miami Heat started struggling in the second half of the third quarter when they put in Tony Parker back. And I was like, the San Antonio Spurs still have a chance. So here comes the fourth quarter, right? The Miami Heat still leading. The San Antonio Spurs haven't, changed the lead since the first quarter. And, the beginning of the fourth quarter, Tony Parker takes charge. The fourth quarter should be called Tony Parker right now. Tony Parker is the man of the fourth quarter. He tried to drive in every second he was on offense. He just tried to drive in, doing layups, trying to get the best of it. He was just taking charge. He was grabbing the bull by the horns. And all you can see is Tony Parker drive in, score. Back scores, he was getting the ball to open guys, shooting threes. Danny Green here is there. Everybody was playing like a team. The Spurs rose up, and Tony Parker took command, and they ended up changing the lead, like in the end of the 5 minutes of the game. And that was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty good. Tony Parker did a hell of a job. And Manu Ginobili got some defensive stands here and there. Also, this guy named Kawhi Leonard, he did some great job against LeBron James throughout the whole game. And they put him against LeBron James again in the fourth quarter, and he dominated. Kawhi Leonard knows how to protect LeBron James pretty good. So I'm hoping to see Kawhi Leonard protect LeBron James 24/7 in the next game, Game 2. That's gonna be a great challenge right there for Kawhi Leonard, because he's 21 years old, and he got Rookie of the Year like 2 years ago. So this guy is a hell of a defensive player and a hell of a young guy. So Kawhi Leonard did a hell of a job protecting LeBron James. Who else? Tony Parker and they protected the three-point line very well against Chris Bosh, Battier, Mario Chalmers, that number 30 guy, and a few other three-point guys. They did a hell of a job. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker doing a hell of a job. At the end, the score was 92-88. Was it? I don't know, but the San Antonio Spurs won by 4, and it was pretty intense. At the end, it was pretty intense. The San Antonio Spurs could have ended this maybe in the 6-minute mark, or maybe in the 7-minute mark. When they were about to change the lead, they could have done back-to-back scores, but they kept missing, and it was pretty intense in the last 4 minutes of the game. And but at the end, San Antonio Spurs took it, and the Spurs just won the game. Miami Heat fans were shocked. I knew the Spurs were going to take it because I know they had the right players to defend LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Mario Chalmers. They had the right players. They just need to learn how to use it and when to use it. So Spurs won. PIG, they need to learn who to put and who to put against who. They need to learn. Miami Heat lost because they were not playing like a team. There was mostly Mario Chalmers, who was LeBron James, and that number 30 guy, Chris Bosh. That's it. Who am I missing? Dwayne Wade? Where was he throughout the whole game? He didn't do any kind of points. Well, he did kind of, but in the second quarter, that's about it. We didn't see any Dwayne Wade in the second half. Where was Dwayne Wade? So the only way Miami Heat's gonna win is if they play like a team. They need to pass the ball. They need to let other people score. They need to get people open. Do some strategy, and they will be just fine. They cannot just use talent. They gotta learn to use the talent together, and they'll win. So this is all for now, guys. This is a full review. San Antonio wins by 4 points, and it was a pretty intense game in the last few minutes of the game. And if you missed it, make sure you go to NBA.com. You should be able to see it there. Or something, just search it and you'll be able to see the whole game. So do not miss out on Game 2. This is one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. And you guys are watching the NBA Finals too. Well, we all know what's gonna happen. So I'll see you guys later and enjoy your day.